Welcome back to Not Thrisis. Thrisis has ended. This is something else. This is a Q&A with the cast of Thrisis and the main cast of Balsamic Games. Up until now, for the last 14 months or so, we have been the primary cast of this channel, and that is all going to be changing soon. We have 21 or 22 new people that will be joining the channel in the coming weeks and months as we move on to 2023. So we wanted to do a little Q&A, let people, if they had any questions about our cast or our games, that they could ask here in chat, and we could try to answer those for you. We did this, I think, at the end of Night Sky Sanctum Season 1, we did a big Q&A. So, yeah, we wanted to sort of open that back up again and see if anybody had any questions. So while we are getting questions, why don't we have do our normal closing stuff. So let Morningstar and everybody else tell you where you can find them. And then we'll start answering the questions as they come in. So, Morningstar?
Well, if you are looking to see more of me and my fabulous pictures that Megan works so bloody hard on, you can find me as the Cytherian or the _ Cytherian across Facebook, Instagram, and still Twitter, because somehow it's still a thing.
It still exists.
And Tumblr and a few other things. Certainly worth finding me, because we have some marvelous things coming up. It might be the holiday season for most, but we still have a few treats to give you before the year's over.
Nice.
Megan's working terribly hard on.
Megan, you want to go?
Sure.
Then go!
Previous. I'm
Get!
Anxiety.
Get! Sorry.
All right. So I am the editor and photographer for the Morningstar content. We post every Friday. I've got my own pages on Twitter, Insta, and now Tumblr, but they're lacking sufficiently good material right now. So I won't lead you too far over or hype it up too much. But if you want to try to check it out, it's Seafoam Workshop. And that's going to be behind the scenes, cheeky edits, and the kind of what the fuckery that's going on in my brain while I work with my muse. But yeah, if you we have something exciting coming up for the holidays as well as New Year's. We have a few projects we're really excited for, so we recommend that you go check those out because we're getting more and more excited the closer these get to release and the more we start polishing them up.
Yeah. It's some prime what the fuckery you've got going there. Azalin?
Yeah, you can find me basically everywhere at Azalin. I am amping up a lot of the creative stuff, and there's a lot more content coming out lately, and I'm doing my best to try to figure out a good stream schedule for here again. I just have to get over a couple little mental blocks, and I'm going to figure out what works best, and probably at least like once a week, but I would like to do maybe twice a week, but we'll see. I'll release that on Twitter and all when that comes up, and there should be a couple just extra little photo shoots about to pop up on Twitter, and so follow me for the creative chaos.
And Andrea?
Yeah, I'm Andrea. You can find me at Wildwood Witch on Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr, and on Twitch, where I try my best to stream on Thursdays, and I do witchy things. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, I also have a Discord where you can come be in our Discord server where we do monthly rituals and things like that for moon cycles and holidays and whatnot. I'm also going to be starting some unboxing videos of witchy subscription boxes in the new year. So if you're interested in that, that's what I do.
I am interested. I better be. I'm part of them. Andrea is my partner. We are also co-authors. We are the authors of Children of Midnight Coven, the game you've been watching us play. Although it's normally set in the modern days in midnight, but this has been a Prohibition era actual play, and it has been an extremely fun little world. I don't think we even had any idea when we first came up with the idea how interesting it was going to be. The factions changed drastically. But we interacted in a very like small area, but in a really cool area. So yeah, let's get to those questions. I see there are already some from a moment ago. Let's start with, and these can go back, I assume, as far as you want them to. So the first question is from Pepperana, who joined us yesterday when we did a playtest of Plunged into the Dark. Thank you for being there. Asks favorite NPC of each cast member. So let's go reverse order, jumbled up, and start with Azalwyn. Favorite NPC.
I kind of liked how silly Jack Spiderstripe was, and how he did like to just stick around with us. I was like, oh, he just became our little mascot a little bit, and just stuck around in our little graveyard last coven forever. So
Yeah. So
he's the one that stands out the most too to me.
nice. Yeah, Nice Guy Sanctum. I think he was in maybe even the very first episode. Like he was in there from pretty close to the beginning. And yeah, so you guys knew him for like at least 40 episodes, and he was like practically a part of your coven near the end. So yeah, that's a deep cut. That goes back actually before Azalwyn was even playing with us. We had encountered Jack. So yeah, he has come a long way from being a massive horned spider god of the forests of Central Park, to being a lowly little telepathic statue sitting on top of you guys' graveyard. But yeah, that's a really good one.
He did his best, okay? He did his best with what he had.
He did.
And
Andrea?
that's why I love him.
Yeah.
Zerlin stole mine, so.
Oh.
I think
I'll open if any more
I
time.
would definitely have to mention Puck. He's really cool. Our red-skinned Fae satyr who opens sideways dimensions into the basement of what's her name? I'm sorry.
The
My brain.
yeah, no, it's been a
Foggy.
while. They
House
don't
of the
even
Ram.
House of the
Yes, House
Ram.
of the
That's
Ram.
it. Yeah, you guys came to him for a lot of healing and help. But yeah, he looked like a demon, but he was really just a Fae satyr who hung around with the Satanists. Yeah, he was a lot of fun, and yeah, he was a partial inspiration for Hedge Witches, because he was the first to be opening those like sideways realm portals.
Yeah.
Cool. Megan, favorite NPC?
No one took mine.
Everyone loves Jack.
Jack's just great. I gotta say, it's a while ago, and we didn't get to interact with her too much because she died. But I enjoyed Tina when she was around.
Yes, Tina was fabulous.
She was fun to play off of. She was fun to riff with, and with the impersonation aspects that I got to play off with.
You got to be her, yeah.
And then even when she was a ghost, I got to interact with her. So like we got like multiple different levels of how we got to kind of play with her character, which I really enjoyed.
Before we got to the end, I actually had a plan for finding a way to bring her back, but then we kind of ended off the series, and I didn't get to do that. But yeah, that's really
None
cool.
of us really wanted Tina back.
Yeah, no, not really.
Having her come back would have been perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, Steph's on the island by themselves right now. They're so bored.
Oh yeah, that's sad times.
Desperate for company.
I'm sure they're stuck with some of the kids that they couldn't pawn off.
Yeah. How about you, Morningstar? Did Azalwyn take your answer?
No. Actually, you know, I'm torn because I quite loved Quinn so much. Quinn was, you know, just a mainstay of our coven from the very beginning. certainly think she was written right in there to the cover sheet. And she had her own lore, even though we didn't really explore it too much. And, I hope we get to see a little bit more of her if we revisit some of those characters in the future. But aside from her, I really did adore Trinity, too, who, in the end, got away with everything, and we never got any revenge on her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Killing Trinity, Season 1, Episode 17. I think that was right around the time I think we met as Aelwyn. And yeah, that was a really good episode. Andrea's character, I think, used wild magic to resurrect like 30 zombies, and then you guys basically stormed the castle using their own dead. Yeah, that was a really good one. But yeah, you guys kept her down in your Covenstead, in your holding cells for so long that eventually her vampire lord came and turned her into a vampire, and they turned into rats and went and escaped from your Covenstead. And yeah, they got away scot-free. That was pretty funny. Pepperana also... Pepperana also wants to know from Megan, how cheeky are those edits?
Nothing too lewd. It's mostly just silly things right now, but I've got some ideas in the works that'll be fun. But it's just trying to dedicate time. I do still have a full-time job on top of like doing these editing. So anytime I get, it's just edit, eat then sleep, then go back to work. So hopefully something more cheeky and lewd coming soon.
Nice. Mel Wood wants to know a favorite moment that surprised you. Like maybe you surprised yourself in a challenging yourself way, or someone in chat who floored you. Any twinkle of memory. Let's go to Morningstar.
Oh, starting off with me, don't get much time to think. In all honesty, I think the moment that always stuck with me the most was when, I can't remember who was dueling, but we were somebody, it was either a Zaelwyn or Andrew, was fighting a troll, and I just had a bottle of champagne, and I utilized that as a weapon by popping the cork off and hitting the troll square in the forehead. And I loved that so much because it was just, I had the champagne bottle simply because the character was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
But it gave me an opportunity to utilize it in a meaningful way. And I feel like that's really the moments where roleplay shine, is when you get to do something ridiculous that does still kind of make sense for your character.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a lot of little moments during the course, especially of Season 1 of Night Sky Sanctum, where you guys kind of lit up with the idea, oh my god, I can do anything as long as it makes sense. And yeah, that was fantastic. I remember thinking after that, I was like, I think Morningstar has got it. Like, I think he gets it. He gets this, because Forged in the Dark role-playing is not quite the same as other role-playing games, and that was for me one of the moments where I was like, oh yeah, Morningstar really gets it. You guys have always got it from the beginning, but I've just had those stair-step moments where it's like, oh yeah, Morningstar just ascended a new step. Megan just ascended a new step. Yeah. How about you, Megan? Any favorite moment that surprised you, or you surprised yourself, or maybe you were just floored?
There's a bunch, but I think one of the more fun ones was when you made me aware of just how much fuckery I could do with the Seth and the shapeshifting with the Escape from the Zoo episode. Where,
oh yeah,
where not only was it shapeshifting, it was shapeshifting with an object that was already there, and essentially it was a Silverwing Jeep plasma cannon that flew through the air, and at that
played
point,
La Cucaracha.
Played the Cucaracha. But at that point, it just kind of blew the doors off for me. Like, oh, I can do whatever. I can be with anything as long as I don't go super ridiculous with it. But it was good to like kind of get a feel on the group and how you were, and like just what I can do like in the game itself. But But that was a lot of fun, just to kind of be like, wow, okay, this is absurd, and I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, that was the first use of shifter wild magic that we had ever had in any Children of Midnight, playtest or otherwise. No shifter had ever used wild magic before that moment. And yeah, that was fantastic. That's probably around maybe Night Sky Sanctum. I feel like maybe episode 14 or 15. How about you, Andrea? Might have been a hair later, like 19.
I guess the when I realized that people wanted to watch us. that that kind of blew my mind. When we got like our first 100 subscribers or followers or whatever they're called, it's just like this crazy thing of like, people think this is interesting and they want to watch this, and that blew my mind. And the other one was when I GM'd Vampire, and it made me feel like I had the chops, basically. You know, I've run games for friends, but I've never, run anything on the internet in front of people, and I am a very anxious person. So, yeah, it was a huge confident boost, and it was cool to be able to do that.
You were absolutely awesome in that game, and I know for a fact that a lot of our longtime fans that found us from that vampire stream were floored by your ability to GM, could not believe that was your first time being a stream GM, and only like your third time, your third game that you had run. And yeah, Struggle Princess is still with us, who, if I remember right, was from that era, and Azalwin had, in my opinion, the best action sequence that happened in that entire mini-series. So if you want to go back and see that, that is a spiritual awakening, Victorian Vampire Spiritual Awakening, and it's available on our YouTube channel. And oh man, the I think it was the second episode of that, but it might have been the third. It was so good. Azalwin's character against a Zamish vampire that was Jack the Ripper. And oh man, that fight was just brilliant start to finish. It was so much fun.
I must say, I really did enjoy playing the overly flirtatious character.
Oh yeah, that was so good
so
too.
out of character for me.
Very.
So it's very nice change of pace.
Really stretched out of your comfort zone on that.
Oh yeah,
Definitely stretched.
Francois is nothing like me. He bottoms on occasion.
Azalwin, any favorite moments?
My favorite moment wasn't even my moment. I wasn't even in this episode, but I watched it, and it was when Elise used a downtime action to beat up a prisoner.
I think I used 2 downtime actions.
Yeah, you used all your actions.
That was the death of Trinity.
Supposedly, yeah.
I was in tears.
I feel like you chopped off her hands. Was one of the things you guys did to her?
It was intense. I was like, oh my goodness, this is downtime.
Elise had too much to drink.
Nice. Okay, let's see. Alpha says he's been swinging accents and matching vibes with all the accents that have been going on. So that's been fun. Awesome.
I wonder if I start rapidly changing the accents, would that make Alpha change more rapidly as well?
Nice. Okay.
But we did have an accent for the vampire fun.
Everybody's saying such nice things in chat. I'm sorry, I'm just getting caught up and catching and trying to look for questions. But thank you all for such the sweet things in here. Thank you, Savage Muffins, for the follow. That's a fantastic name.
No
Um,
emotion.
Miss Mewtwo asks, what inspired everyone to express themselves creatively in TTRPGs? Um, let's go reverse order and start with this Alan.
I just like being other people. I've always liked being other people. I started off in scare acting. I went into actual acting,
right.
and then I always wanted to try tabletop. And the opportunity arose, and I was like, "Hey, now I can be other people, but with rules. So let's see if we can do it."
Nice. How about you, Andrea?
Um, mine's not as I don't know, it's kind of weird. My very first game I played with Gavin, and that was like I want to say almost 14 years ago
Yeah.
now. Um, but Gavin made my character, and it was when we had just barely started seeing each other, and it was just like, okay, this is going to be a fun thing for us to do together. We had, and I was very, very, very shy. I could hardly speak in front of people. And so it was a good way to help me overcome that. And it did, and it was great. And I am super grateful that you pushed me.
Yeah, you were fantastic. She was awesome as I think that was a Bone Gnawer character in a werewolf game, and then we went on to run many, many more werewolf games that were awesome after that. Yeah, and then streaming as well has really helped open you up in a similar but more in a greater way.
Next level.
Yeah, next level. How about you, Megan?
Um, my experience with tabletop RPG, I've only had one session of Dungeons and Dragons before doing anything with BalsamicGames. So, Children of Midnight has essentially been my entire repertoire of roleplay. But did like drama in school, and coming from working jobs with like 14, 15-hour days, these streams have been like therapy and a way for me to be like creative and like a place where I know it's safe. I'm making friends. I get to be creative, have fun, and not worry about being weird because people want to be weird.
Yeah, we want you
People
weird.
be adults all day. Like, can I just be wacky for a couple hours? And like, it's great. Like, I've gotten to meet so many amazing people, and like, people don't care if I decide to turn into a jeep with wings with water cannons.
A pickle. You turn yourself into a pickle.
Oh yeah, you got your back
It was the
broken as a
funniest
pickle.
damn thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Or if I want to sucker punch like 7 different people at a time as an octopus, I can do it. Like, it's fun.
Aw, thank you for
I
the
love
sub.
Aw.
Savage Muffins for the win.
Savage muffin.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. And Morningstar, what inspired you to creatively express yourself through TTRPGs?
Well, I've always been a big fan of storytelling, but telling a story all by yourself, it can be an ask. Have you ever tried to sit and just write a tale, even if you have everything already sorted out? How do you put the words down? Nightmarish. But working with others, you give each other a place to go off from, to move forward. Of course, as Zerwin says, I do quite like playing another character. It's fun change of pace, allows one to mix things up. And at the end of the day, the biggest thing for me, the most exciting thing, is the ability to solve problems in the most hilarious way possible, and then have the dice magically make it work somehow.
Well, that's the advantage when the dice love you too. So
Yeah, don't get me started on this dice bot that I absolutely need to reprogram. This thing has been a turd. One of our players from last week's game was the Tiny Bishi, who I think is in chat right now. And the dice bot has never hated someone so much. It was
It felt so terrible.
terrible. So bad they went and used a Google Dice Roller, even though the dice bot was still up. Yeah.
Evil math stones.
Not only a 2 dice fail, I think a 1/1 on wild magic roll, and
Oh my goodness.
3 wild magic rolls in a row failed.
I mean, you think that's bad. I remember getting a fail with 4 or 5 dice once, so...
It happens. It definitely happens. As far as me inspiring to express myself creatively in TTRPGs, I've been making tabletop games since I was like 14 or 15. I didn't even know what tabletop games were when I was making them. So I've made them in every medium possible, from video games to tabletop games to like little war games and everything. And I just have a huge passion for it. So, and I enjoy GMing far more than I enjoy being a player.
You do such a wonderful job of it.
Thank you. And yeah, to me, that's the way I can express myself. I don't know why, I just never feel right playing a character, but when I get to sort of make a setting and give that to other people, like that's what makes me feel great. That's how I feel like I'm expressing myself. So awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going through more of these questions. Let's see. Robot Rainbow says, what do we look forward to most in the 2023 stream schedule? If that wasn't already asked, it had not been. So I've been kind of in charge of that. I've been running a lot of playtests using one of our new games, Plunged into the Dark, that teaches people the Forged in the Dark framework. We've done 4 playtests so far, and I was saying we've got about 21 or 22 people that are now stream ready, which includes several people that have been with us for a long, long time. Yeah, so I think the SCP game that Vice was talking about potentially running in the new year, that really excites me. It's based off of, I don't know why everything I do is based off a tweet I see, but I came up with the general idea, and Vice picked it up and said they were willing to run with it. And so yeah, I'm really, really excited to see that come to the screen in the new year using Plunged into the Dark system. So yeah, that really excites me. I don't know if any of the rest of you know much about the new people. I know Andrea has got to watch almost all of the playtests, if not all of them.
Yeah, I watched all of them.
Yeah. Are you really excited about anybody in particular, or?
I can't say that I'm more excited about anybody in particular. I think they've all done a really great job.
They have.
They've just been really fun and really interesting to watch, and so I'm excited for you guys to meet them in their new stream environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Excited to
It'll be nice for us to have a break on off weeks so that we aren't stretched so thin.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm excited for some rest.
Okay.
I know that we have discussed some things for future streams already that I am very much looking forward to, but I don't really want to
divulge
spoil any of those secrets that we've been discussing, because really the reveal is half the fun.
You just know that the past and the future, neither are off limits. We
love our flashbacks and
and we also have some werewolves that we have made in the past that we might come back to them because
Dude.
Yeah, they were really awesome, and we've enjoyed werewolf so much, and we have our own Forged in the Dark.
Looking forward to an opportunity to play Chet.
Yeah. Robot Rainbows has also joined us for one of our werewolf games. And Chaos Them, and I think Izza was there, and I think Struggle Princess was there as well. So yeah, werewolf is definitely potentially on the agenda. It's our own special brand of werewolf. It's a Forged in the Dark version, but it's very Werewolf the Apocalypse. It still very much has the feel of it. Pepperana is feral for a werewolf game. Well, I assure you one is coming. Savage Muffins, our newest subscriber, thank you so much, asks, if a great demon king named Thalius decided you were his beloved from generations past that had been hidden away from him in the body of a mortal and wanted to take you away, what would be your response, Morningstar?
I've dealt with Thalius enough. You know what? Toxic X. I'm not going through that again.
How about you, Megan?
Pixar didn't happen.
Okay. That's Aylwin?
You gotta take a gal out to eat first.
Absolutely. Andrea?
I am the queen of hell. You may call me Lilith, and yes, take me back to my throne, please.
Yeah, and for me, it's just, can I watch? The Tiny Bishi says something about gentle bullying. Oh yeah, getting pushed out of your comfort zone with new experiences. It's like gentle bullying. It does kind of feel like that.
It's what we like to do, gentle bullying.
Gentle bullying, but everyone's in the back going like, do it. Everyone believes in you, even if they're bullying you a little bit.
I believe that's called peer pressure.
The Alpha Eidolon wants to know who is a D20 collector, but I would expand that to just all dice. Which, if any of us? You're the dice goblin? I'll take that as a, yeah. I'll take that cough as
We don't
yes.
have many. We do like them, but unfortunately we haven't actually played enough games of tabletop where we've used physical dice to justify more than a few.
Yeah.
Well, to even justify one set of dice, but we have more than one.
How about you,
I love
Aylwin?
dice so much.
Oh, yeah.
So much dice.
Oh, yeah, we have bags
These are
and
my favorite
bags.
dice right now. I don't even know if you can see them.
A little lower.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, it's like got
No,
moss
anyway,
inside.
yeah, it's got moss and rose petals, and they're D6s because that's what our systems run off of is D6s. So them.
Yep. How about you,
I'll take a
Aylwin?
picture of them and put them in Discord.
Ooh, great idea. Yes, if you're not already a member of our Discord, hop over to
This will be.
our Discord, and we actually have a dice porn channel for you to put all of
Yes.
your dice in so we can see them. And just to take a moment to thank our special helper, which was Forged Gaming Company, helped us out with a dice giveaway for the final session of Night Sky Sanctum. So, Forged Gaming Company, we're not sponsored by them or anything.
But they do have real nice dice.
They do. We have 2 metal sets that we got from them, and they are just gorgeous. So,
Gorgeous.
yeah. Let's see. And Zaylwin, what about you for dice? Are you a big collector?
I wish I had the funds to collect. I am looking into getting molds to make mine though. I'm more of a maker. I'm like, I just want to make my own. It's just a mold for like even like a D20. Just the sets, the molds are insane. But I'm like, I'll save up and I'll get it eventually. Maybe with taxes. I do make rooms, so we'll get there one day.
I'd love to get a huge D20 mold and make some and just put some really cool things in them.
I saw one recently that they made it look like an egg, and it was the greatest. They put like a yolk in the middle and like kind of like semi-opaque white around it, and I was like, "Oh, that is the coolest idea ever."
I'm a
I want to see
Nautica.
somebody make a giant D20, but like one of those liquid core ones, but put a bunch of like smaller 20s in it. I think
yeah.
That'd be so cool.
I have a bunch of D10s that are like that. They're a D10 on the outside, and they have a teeny tiny D10 on the inside. So when you roll one, you can read it as percentile dice by reading the outside one and then the inside one.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah. I am Nautica, first time chat, says, the world and setting is kind of your character in a way for me. And yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I need to get into making more NPCs that like feel like they're part of the adventure. Especially with these like small, like these mini series. We don't. I mostly have to, make like the Gru, the 3 minions of the Fae that they sent against them. So yeah, they haven't really been major people they've like chatted with and had fun with. But yeah, I'll look into doing that more. Let's see. Are we almost caught up to reality? Right. Yeah, stone dice and everything. You have to be really careful with stone and metal dice, especially
goodness.
the D20s. Awesome.
They get heavy.
Yeah. Alp Trump's still not feeling well, hasn't been able to talk much, but we hope you feel better soon. Alright. Okay, I am Nautica with their second chat message. Thank you. What do you find is the main difference between streaming games as opposed to playing them privately? And do you find the games run differently as a GM versus player? I think Morningstar and Megan, you have had extremely limited real life experience playing tabletop games, and actually as Aylwin as well.
Very
Plenty of
limited.
roleplay experience, but not much in front of a table.
Mm-hmm.
Only probably count the amount of physical sessions on one hand, but probably the
Probably, you could.
most, like, the most apparent difference will probably be like the response time between like a physical, like we're obviously like playing together and we can see each other,
Mhm.
but it's a little bit different when you're streaming for entertainment purposes, just for when you know other people are gonna watch. You have to try to cut down on the whole humming and I don't know, but sometimes you're just kind of stuck. But it's good kind of having the fire under your butt to be like, okay, I can't just sit here.
Yeah.
They're gonna expect us to do something.
When you're in person, you can tell when people are like really excited about an idea and like jumping in their seat. It's harder to see in a sort of, even in video chat, it's harder to see that somebody's like really excited about an action. So sometimes you'll just jump in with, oh, I want to do this, and it's like somebody else maybe is getting pushed out. It's like, yeah, it can be a bit weird. We've run
Hard to tell when someone's talking as well.
Oh, that's true. We've run games in real life. We routinely run games for like 8 players at the same time. So we really have to like bring it down when it comes to running games online. We run for much smaller groups. That for me is a big difference.
Run for 8 people.
We had a play test. I think it was one of our early play tests for Children of Midnight in real life. We had 8 players, and each player got to take 1 action during the adventure, and a couple people got to take 2. But they finished an entire adventure with everybody taking 1 action each, effectively. So when you play with that number of players, you know, people don't necessarily get to shine as much. I feel like that's why we made the spotlight thing, was for people to go, ooh, you know, this person rolled a 6, and we're going to get to see them under the spotlight, you know. But also just, you know, virtual dice rolling is a little bit weird. I tried to make it as real as I could with our dice rolling system, but yeah, it still feels very different to be able to roll dice. We also do a lot of special things. Like, we run a lot of games that use cards or tarot cards. So we've run a game called A Fistful of Darkness, and we used a deck of playing cards as the main mechanic instead of dice. And it can be really interesting for everybody to crowd around a little table and like watch as people slowly flip cards to see if they succeed. So I've kind of missed that, and I've missed like 10 Candles. Playing that with a lot of people in real life is a much different experience, because if a candle goes out, you move on to the next scene. But, you know, they're not going to blow out when they're digital. So, right. Yeah.
Snacks.
Snacks.
We don't have any snacks.
No snacks.
Snacks.
Right. Yeah, a lot of other people play their games online but collect physical dice regardless.
The dice are part of the fun. You can't just not have them.
Savage Muffin says, my first time seeing Gavin. I love Gavin. Aww. I love your Savage Muffins. All right.
Is your savage muffin buttered? Would you like us to assign someone to butter your savage muffin?
Ooh, Robot Rainbows has a great question. Would you ever do an in-person session, the main cast?
Oh, gladly, if we had the opportunity.
Yeah.
100%. If the opportunity ever presents itself, I would be so excited to do that.
I have a feeling it would be even more grand and chaotic.
Yep.
Yeah, I would have to actually wear trousers. To the game. But
we wouldn't enforce that rule in our house. Drowsy says everyone should have a camera for rolling their dice and just roll dice in real life. That would be cool, but that would be a heck ton of extra effort. Yeah, it's hard enough to get one camera set up every day. Although when we do 10 candles, we have a separate camera set up for the physical dice so people can see them. Question. I once had a group pass an entire quest line I had planned by rocking out, getting a natural 20 to impress an orc master. So I had them make them their personal music group. If you had to skip your quest line and do something silly, would you let them do it with consequences or deny them? So the types of games we play do not work like that. We try to plan virtually nothing in advance. Forged in the Dark games are run best when you have the smallest iota of an idea of where you want to go, and you just follow the fiction. So, if you missed like the session, because this one was a cliffhanger that we went into this one from, but usually we come up with the idea for what the session is going to be, what their goal is going to be, and then we figure out how they're going to do it, and then we just play it out. So it's considered a zero prep game. It's an extremely low prep game. So I am 100% in favor of going wherever the dice or wherever the ideas take us. Absolutely. I've never been the kind of GM that I can't run pre-written adventures. It just doesn't work for me. So yeah, I would absolutely let them do it with consequences or without, just depending on how the dice go. But absolutely.
Depending on if the consequences make it more fun.
Bloody Rose wants to know from everyone, do you know how much we love you?
Yes, darling. But don't let that stop you from telling us more.
Oh, yeah. Is that a pigeon?
Yes. She prefers to be called a dove, but she can't actually understand English, so it's fine.
So we have Hermes, the rock dove, Hermes, the kitty cat, that is Azalwin's. And then we have 2 mini pigs, 2 dogs, 2 cats, a bearded dragon. Exactly. Several snakes. Yeah. So yeah. If you come to our Wildwood Witch streams, we often bring the mini pigs in, and bring them to greet everyone. So yeah, again, join our Discord if you want to see pictures. I posted a video of our mini pigs earlier.
Who doesn't love baby pigs?
Whenever anybody's sitting in our living room and both pigs come and lay on you at the same time, we call it getting double pigged. And Andrea got double pigged on the couch earlier, and it was so good. That's what the video is of. Awesome. All right, I think we're caught up. So, yeah.
I do believe, actually, I saw a question earlier that got skipped past.
Yeah, go for it.
Multiclass VYC asks,
Vice!
What's the biggest inspiration for you when building characters?
Oh, thank you for catching that. Oh, and also, Damien Kincaida, first time chat. Thank you so much for coming in here. We're really excited to see you. I see it. I see the question. That is Vice. Vice is the one we were talking about a moment ago that may be running a game for us. Savage Muffin! Savage Muffin, the VIP of the session today, has now gifted a sub. Thank you so much.
Wonderfully kind.
But yeah, Vice is multiclassed _ Vice. Awesome. So yeah, let's ask that around. What is the biggest inspiration when you build characters? Do you go on a whim or have a vibe in mind? Let's hop down to Andrea first, because I know Morningstar has an answer.
A lot of the times when I've made characters, especially when I know I'm going to play in a group of characters, I generally try to go last so I can kind of fill in gaps. That's kind of what I have done just in general. Even when we were playing in person with other people, it was always like, well, what does everybody else want to do and what do we need? So, yeah, but when I do finally get around to making my characters, I like to try to take it all into consideration, like the setting and, what we're going to be doing. So yeah, and Gavin's done this really cool thing where we've had this big giant long questionnaire that we've had in the past for other characters that we've made, where you can just kind of go down this questionnaire and you can just answer the questions. And by the end of the questionnaire, you have a pretty good idea of who your character is. And
Oh, yeah.
I like to do because I have a real hard time.
I should make that public. Yeah, that I
It's
forgot
a
how
great one.
helpful those are. Yeah, they're really great. It's just start answering the questions as if you were your character, at least to the point that you know it so far. And you just go through those questions, and whenever one jumps out at you, you go, "Ooh, I want to answer that. Like, I want to answer who my parents are, or I want to answer why I decided to do XYZ." And then
Yeah.
once you have a few of those questions answered, like, you really zero in on who your character is. How about you, Azalea?
I tend to see like what kind of actions and all can we take to begin with. So I first give me the rules, and then generally I kind of like in this game we pick our grimoires, and I kind of go off that, and then like when I picture the grimoire, what's the first like character that physically just like pops in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and then I kind of build a story around what that person looks like to me. So it's like already in my head, since I have such a wild imagination, like a
Mm-hmm.
character will automatically pop up. It's just up to me to give that character a name and a story to go along with it. So it's like it's kind of a fun little creative exercise anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I can get halfway through making a character and then one thing will change my mind and I will go back and just rearrange everything. Like with this character Joy, there was actually a commonly drawn character from World of Warcraft that had popped in my mind, where with the long ears and the blue hair and just round glasses, and I kind of like wanted to make an assassin Professor McGonagall kind of character off of that, and that's kind of what I went off with that. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I just want to be a goofy goofball, and and then I'll build the character. So it more or less the character's there. It's just up to me to define them.
Yeah. How about you, Megan?
I was struggling with audio issues that whole time.
Oh, do you want the
my
question
headset
again?
died, so yes, please.
Okay. Let me see. Oh, Savage Muffins, the gifted sub went to Sunshine Castleford, one of our Patreon supporters. So that's so awesome. I'm trying to find the question again.
No worries.
I think it was more or less, how do you come up with ideas for your characters?
Okay.
Do you use a method or?
Don't necessarily have a method. At least with the Children of Midnight, it's started with the power, and then how I want that power to manifest physically, what I think will look cool, and most importantly, what I think will be fun, because I'm going to have to spend the most amount of time with this character, whether it be in the creation process or the actual roleplay portion of it. But I want something that's going to be fun, be meme worthy, and it's like the right mixture of like can go serious, but going to be weird and fun. So
Oh
at the
my
end of the day,
god. Robot Rainbows just gifted 5 subs.
Oh my god.
Said it's gifting
Yeah.
time.
Gifted time.
Isabella Donna, Drazzy's, Vice, Momo Plush, and Prince of Horror have all been gifted subs. Thank you all so much.
You get a sub.
Yeah. Thank you, Robot Rainbows. Thank you, Mia.
Fine.
Mia has been a part of so many of our streams and our private games and has been a Patreon supporter for a million years. And they are just so amazing. Thank you so much. You are
invaluable.
so generous, and we appreciate it so much. It's so awesome.
We love you too, darling.
Morningstar, how do you come up with ideas for your characters?
Well, a lot of my characters, well, not a lot, but many of the characters I've had for ages. Elise and Francois, they were characters I had established very long time ago in different settings, and they are such simple concepts that they fit really well anywhere you really want to put them. But for the most part, when I'm coming up with something new, the idea is usually to find something that's just a little bit funny. It's perhaps tropey, something at its very core people can connect with and recognize. And then to try to fit it in the system and add my own unique twists on it. So, even Elise, once upon a time, was inspired by Cruella de Vil and tweaked a million times until she actually had some dimension beyond just being a villainess. That's generally how I do it. I start with something completely shallow and primarily focused on entertainment, and I add the depth after.
I feel like that's worked extremely well, not just for you, but for us all. It's been so helpful to have that. That's kind of like, I don't know, everybody contributes to the core, but I feel like that is a very core thing. Once we have your character in, I think everybody else kind of just falls into place. And you've had such...
I try to make it so they recognize it even if they don't know the character. They know what they're playing with there.
Right.
Even Dick, no one really knows that much about him, but you know
that his husband is dead.
And his husband's dead and he's a mean alcoholic.
Right.
And that's all really you need to know, because there's things beyond that you find out through the story when they come up.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another good thing about Forged in the Dark games. There are all these things on the character sheet that can or may not come out over the course of a game. You have allies, you have rivals, and we can bring those out. So once a game starts to, maybe you have a sort of storyline you're going for, and then they kind of finish that off, you can just start bringing in, Andrea's character's rival, and bring that in, and eventually you're weaving this whole web of interesting things that are happening to the whole group, and nobody will feel left out. They always have NPCs that they can go to if they have, if they would need to gather
everyone
information.
Else in the coven betrays them.
Mm-hmm. And another thing I've loved about playing with everybody here, and Morningstar has done some great examples of this, and that's just private messaging me with the wackiest ideas about what they want to do, and I'm like, you've got to tell everybody. That's too cool to just tell me and try to make me keep that secret.
I like to work things out with you before I go spreading them, darling.
Well, I love it, and I love the tension of having to keep a secret that is world spanning in nature. If you haven't seen Night Sky Sanctum, I very much recommend going back for it. The 2 seasons and the dark turn it took, thanks to Morningstar in the end. I mean,
things got pretty bleak.
Everybody played their part, I promise, but what Morningstar did at the end really took the cake. So definitely worth a rewatch.
Surprisingly, very dark, and yet I didn't kill any children.
No.
Megan did it, but I never killed any children.
No.
Trying.
The only person who killed any children was Megan's character. You guys did resurrect them though. So
It was fine.
Does it count if they come back from the dead?
it still
They're never
counts.
quite the same, though.
Yeah, they were never.
By zero, and that's what happened. Like,
They were never quite the same. I've made sure that all the resurrection spells in Children of Midnight are always like they come back different. You can bring back player characters really easily with it, but they come back with trauma. So, yeah. Awesome. Yes, they were tortured, however, with tap dancing. That is true.
I think Elise probably killed less than anybody else by herself. But
Yeah, like out
probably
and out
had a higher
murder.
body count overall still.
Oh yeah.
Elisa submitted a lot more emotional damage.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
she had people kill each other, but technically that's not her fault.
Yeah, Andrea, what was
She wasn't pulling the trigger.
your character's name in Night Sky Sanctum? My memory is getting so bad. Hollis, that's right.
Hollis.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Hollis.
I'm tired.
Already forgotten Hollis, my goodness.
I am 99% sure Hollis had the highest body count.
Yeah.
Because Hollis
certainly.
did not see a difference between life and death, really.
No.
I mean, her best friends were all dead, and they all had a very good relationship.
Fine.
Her girlfriend was dead, and they had a perfectly fine relationship.
Yeah.
You had a dog that was dead, didn't you?
No, that wasn't me.
That was
a different character.
I meant the spirit Styx. Wasn't he a dog of some sort? A ghost dog?
I feel like, yeah, I think
He was a dog.
I think that was the hedge witch that met the dog that was friendly to them. But yeah, we had a lot of really cool guest stars over the 2 years too. So yeah, awesome. Okay, well, I feel like we have answered some pretty dang good questions. And yeah, we are very much looking forward to the new year and all of the fun games that are going to come with it. Thank you all so much for helping us hit our subscription goal. We are so excited to have more emotes and animated emotes that are available to us now that we have hit that goal. So we are going to be making some animated emotes over the break.
Probably a pig.
But will any of them really compare with
Catspin? I know. It's so good.
Compare with
We're experimenting with a flying pig. So we'll see. We'll see if we can beat Catspin.
We should have a facing moon or something too.
Yeah. Oh, gotta join in the festivities and spin some cats.
Yes, Catspin.
Cats.
5 times Catspin combo.
And now even more people can Catspin with us.
Yeah, that's true. 30.
Well, look at this. I've got advanced Catspin.
Oh, damn!
Do that.
Yes, that is true.
Yes, I love it.
I can't do it. Aw. I can't do it because my camera is different than you guys's. But yeah, that's definitely something fun we'll have to play with the new streams now that they've added, the emotes. Sad Frog is so good. Sad Frog is the best. I am more partial to Sad Froge than to Catspin, but I'm more than willing. There's Sad Froge. But yeah. Oh, that one was awesome.
They are very adorable. I don't know when or why Discord added this feature, but I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Well, we are going to bid you all a fond farewell for the holiday season. Andrea and I will be back on the Wildwood Witch channel in a couple of days to do some rituals with all of you and spells, and have an awesome good time. Ooh, our first Sadfroge combo. Awesome. Okay. Well, anything anybody wants to say before we bid them adieu until 2023?
Happy holidays.
Yes.
And see you next year.
All right. Enjoy the credits, and make sure to thank we will make sure to thank all of our Patreon supporters. You will see their names in the credits. We have games that have just come out and that are digital releases that have all of our Patreon supporters' names in there. So make sure you check them out and say hi to them if you join the Discord. And we'll see you all in 2023. Have a good one.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.